No, it is actually significant for us. I think that we've been able to develop great series and rivalries with James Madison, Old Dominion, William & Mary. We've played VMI a number of times. We've played Virginia Tech a few times. So I think it is really important. It's a great thing because the travel is very easy. So for both sides, but it's also a recognition of how great the basketball is in the state, and our chance to be able to be part of that as much as we can.
Coach, I know they all count the same, and losses at the end of the world. But how important is it how much emphasis do you put on starting fast, starting off?
Yeah, well, I mean, we do put an emphasis on it, because you have so much time to look at the first game or the first week. So we certainly put an emphasis on it, but we recognize how long the season is, and I think, one thing with young people that, they might get a little bit, because there's been so much time, so juiced up. So we want to kind of make sure they understand how long the season is, at the same time really prepare as much as we can for these first few games.
It will depend on situations and opponents and everything like that, but do you have a better handle of how much your freshmen will be able to contribute? I don't know how much you'd like them to contribute, but how much realistically they'll be able to contribute?
I think I do, and I think that all three will play, and I think right now DeMonte, Buckingham, and Nick Sherrod are very much in the rotation and will have a chance to play a lot. Obviously it'll be determined by how the game's going and what's going on, but those guys have really performed well. And all three freshmen are ready to be in there and make a major contribution.
Did that surprise you at all? No.
Yeah, to a certain extent it did, because it's just hard to make that transition from high school to college. The European trip, the practices, the games we played overseas really helped, but also how talented they are and how much they've prepared themselves has helped.
You have some scoring to replace, and in Marshall you have a guy who has shown flashes of being a go-to guy, but he's been very inconsistent. Yeah. What do you look for from him?
Well, he's really improved tremendously, I'd say, from last spring until now. He's really improved, has really worked hard, and I think consistency is the key for him. It's not so much when he's had the games where he shoots the ball well and has just incredible shooting nights. That's great. He needs to be a major contributor when he's not shooting well. All of us have to have good performances or good contributions when the scoring is down, and I think that he has a much better understanding of that and is aggressively attacking that.
Hey Chris, so 7 first 10 at home, was that designed for this team or happenstance?
Well, in a certain way, probably so, but yeah, I don't think, some schools can dictate exactly how their schedule will go. We're not necessarily in that, but we have a good commitment. We recognize how important it is to play home games, and we try to have that. But I think that was a little bit more by how the games turned out that we scheduled. We even moved some games around during the course of it.
Because of how well the freshmen have come along to you, I'm guessing you expect to be deeper than you've been maybe in a long time, and if so, how does that change how you and your staff can coach?
Sure. Yeah, I think potentially we are. I think, Kwesi Ibaka, who's a newcomer but graduate transfer from Northeastern, he'll play a lot. And so I think that we have good depth. And, for us, going into it, you're considering the players and the time and the chemistry. But during the games, you're thinking of the matchups and the foul trouble and things. So it's about how those things work out, really, that dictate how deep you go and how often you go that deep.
TJ will get a ton of attention. How do you have to minimize how your team doesn't look for him to bail them out whenever you need a big play?
Yeah, I think that's always a critical part for a team with a great player like TJ. And so, he wants it, and I think our guys recognize that. But at the same time, you have to manage the games and how those are going. The problem is sometimes with 14 minutes left and you're down 4, the guys think that's, the most critical possession. And it is critical, but we need to, continue to play because I think we're at our best when we're sharing the ball.